Welcome to episode 5. We have Dennis and Paul, who have been mates for a very long time. How long has it been, Paul?
Well, you're going to put me on the spot. Dennis might divorce me here. Well, I remember it was probably, I was in year 8, so Dennis was in year 9. So you can give me a year, Dennis. You're better than that. You're better than me at this.
I'd say almost 20, 23, 24 years. No, 20 years? Yeah,
No.
20 years, 20 years.
20. I'd say 20 years. We probably our 20th anniversary coming up.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so 20 years ago in high school, Keilor Downs, secondary college. So yeah, been mates for 20 years. Wow, when you say it like that, it's a very long time. And it was interesting, Steve, that not to crash your intro here, but we're trying to think of when
It's done.
It's done. We're trying to think of when you and I met. Obviously, we met through Dennis, but I just remember instantly hitting it off with you as well. I think our love of the same films, Lord of the Rings, was probably the first time we did show. I think the first time I met you, you were probably listening. You said you admitted that while you code, you listened to the Lord of the Rings soundtrack, and I go, "Yeah, this guy's instantly cool." So I'm going to instantly get along with him.
That's why we went to Crown. I remember that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. We stayed at Metropole.
Yeah, it was. It would have been Crown.
Gosh, that was a long time ago, wasn't it?
God, I haven't been to Crown for I don't know how long it's been.
The last time was probably when we all went with who did we go with? Your other mate from Intralot.
Harry.
The last time I went to Crown.
I think it was.
Well, I think
that would have been the last time I've been.
I think it's worth mentioning that Paul doesn't live in Victoria, so it won't be very easy for him to get to Crown.
Yeah, but
no. We can get into that. I know you wanted to ask me what that is like. We can get into it later. But well, Steve, what do we normally do in your podcast? I think in the few episodes I've listened, you like to talk about current affairs.
Yeah. So I mean, unless Dennis, you want to?
No, go ahead.
We'll just talk about what's going on.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's not really anything that interests us that's trending at the moment. So how about we talk about? Let's talk about Joe Rogan. I mean, do you listen to Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Got COVID. We know that.
Okay.
So I was waiting for him to come out and say I've got COVID. Been a long time coming. He keeps his whole vaccination and stuff pretty close to his. He doesn't really release too much of what he believes and what he does, and he's pretty up and about when he talks about vitamins and looking after yourself. But but he sounds like he's better and he's good to go. Just had to cancel that Dave Chappelle show, and that was about it.
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
he's also obviously because he's super loaded. Like he as soon as he found that he had COVID, they put him on a vitamin drip. All these other hormones.
Ivermectin.
If you or I had it, we wouldn't be able to do what he's done. It's basically stay in bed and just wait and see what happens. So you can't really compare with what he's been, what treatment he's had compared to the everyday person. I mean, what did he get from Spotify? Was it 180 million or something?
100 mil. Well, 180 Australian. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It's crazy. But anyway.
Yeah. But sorry, Dennis, you were going to say something?
No, I was going to say how he's treating himself. But you covered it.
Pretty much every doctor that's come on and said this works better than the vaccine he threw in his body.
Yeah.
And he was better in 2 days.
Yeah.
But he said he felt pretty awful on the Sunday, I think he said, and then all good. But other than that, Victoria, 180 cases.
Well, it's interesting because you think about what did we talk about before COVID? Because that seems to be all that people talk about. Yeah.
Well, that's all we care about because that's what's stopping us from doing this in person, really.
Yeah.
So
you, but
I would have come down, Steve. Come on. I'm a 50-minute flight. It would have been taking me longer from Sunbury.
How long does it take to drive?
8 hours.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah.
So do you go through Mildura, or
no? You bypass Mildura. Yeah. So it's about 6 hours to Mildura from here still too.
Okay. All right.
But it's all highway. It's a pretty simple drive.
Yeah.
You end up coming through Ballarat.
Okay. So anyone that's listening, if there's people listening, that you've moved from Melbourne to Adelaide for work, and this was before COVID, or was it
during COVID? I was in the original 14-week Melbourne lockdown when I was successful with getting this job.
Yeah.
So never ever planned to live anywhere else other than Victoria or the western suburbs of Victoria. It was never a dream of mine or the families or anything like that. None of my siblings have ever done anything like that. None of the real friends have really done it either. So it was I'm sure you want to know how it all came along. You're very interested, Steve, I'm sure. But
I mean, I know a lot of people that have moved to Queensland because of all the lockdowns. That was the primary reason why they've gone there. But yeah, that's why I'm fascinated to see, because with me as well, we were this close to moving to Queensland.
I remember. You called me, remember?
That's right. Well, we were ready to put an offer in a property, and we get removalists and all that stuff to move our stuff over, and we ended up finding a good school, because for us it was the kids and the school. We didn't want to be chopping and changing during high school. So that's the only reason why we didn't move. We couldn't find a spot in a good school in Gold Coast. We wanted to move like around 15 minutes out of Gold Coast. But yeah, I was willing to do it I was sick of the winter. That's all it was. And now you see people doing it because of the lockdowns and all that sort of stuff. And yeah,
do you regret not doing it?
I admire you that you did it.
Well, it's funny, Steve, that house that you were looking at would be worth a fortune. Gold Coast is untouchable now, just to let you know.
I know.
It's absolutely booming. It's probably the one booming state for real estate at the moment. Obviously, Adelaide's gone up, and Melbourne and Sydney are always doing their thing. Who knows what WA are doing? They're not even part of Australia anymore.
No, they never were.
So for me, it was for work. I saw a job opportunity there in South Australia and said to my wife, "Hey, would you live in South Australia?" This is a joke. I was never going to apply for it. And she goes, "Yeah, I think probably being in lockdown," and she got kind of a taste of what it would be like away from family for a little bit. And then, so I said, okay, well, if I apply for it and I get it, we're moving. And we just bought this house we absolutely loved in Victoria, in Sunbury in Victoria. And, so it was just all kind of happened organically, I guess, and applied for the job, and 3 interviews later got it. Some testing, Dennis. Had to do some testing, even though I've worked for the company for 10 years. You'd think they wouldn't put me through a personality test, but they did. But
it all happened relatively quick, though, didn't it?
Yeah, for applying to getting the job was like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I was now I've got to pack up my life and move, which was an ordeal in itself. So I did work remotely for a few months, and I ended up moving here December 1st last year.
How did you decide what area to move to? Like, you had Adelaide, but why where you live now?
My wife has an auntie that lives here, and she lives in an area called Glengowrie, which is right next to Glenelg. Everyone knows Glenelg in Adelaide. Beach kind of. You don't know Glenelg?
Stephen doesn't.
You've never heard of Glenelg?
No. I didn't know where Templestowe was until I met Amber. So
okay, yeah, fair enough. Broadmeadows, that's it.
That's all I knew. That was it. Yeah.
So most people know Glenelg. It's the main kind of big beachfront kind of area. So we thought Glengowrie, that's where Jess's auntie lived. That's close to the beach. We just knew we wanted to be close to the beach. So then Google Maps around, well, what can we afford? COVID stuffed me up there too, but what it is.
Did property start to go up already before you started to look?
No, they hadn't. Pretty much just after I settled, everything started to shoot through the roof in Adelaide, because I think people started to realise, and Dennis has come to visit a few times before lockdown. It's just an absolutely beautiful place. I think it's one of the most underrated cities in Australia, to be honest. Like, I'm 3 k's from the beach, 10 k's from the city. It's like everything looks like Toorak because the amount of trees that are everywhere. All the people are absolutely very compliant, very lovely, not what I'm used to. Everyone drives very slowly. Everyone, so when it comes to COVID, I think that's why stuff doesn't spread here, because literally it's like a ghost town at night. Yeah. It's a ghost town anywhere in Adelaide, because even Coles closes at 5. But
oh, really?
No, 9 o'clock during the week, mate.
Okay.
Yeah, 5 o'clock on a Saturday.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's like, to be honest, it's relocating state, and you never know what you're going to get yourself into. I guess
yeah, especially
mate,
kids too.
Yeah, 100%. And if my daughter wasn't already, if she was about to enter into primary school, we probably wouldn't have done it if she was already in a school. But we thought if she goes to a school for a few years and we end up moving back, it's not as bad as 1 year, bang, 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 kind of swap. Yeah. So if we're going to do it, we're going to do it now. Yeah. But Adelaide is a city and a place to live. Like Dennis knows, the beach 3Ks from my house is absolutely phenomenal. It's not like St. Kilda. It's more like a Rosebud equivalent almost.
Yeah, I say it's more like a Rye or Rosebud. It's it's an amazing beach. You're in an amazing spot. And Adelaide has changed so much. I mean, before I went to visit Paul, it was at least 15 years. No, probably about 10 years since I'd been there. But there's a lot happening, and everything's relatively
what about
close.
Urban sprawl? Like, are there many, any new estates that are growing and that sort of thing, or not really?
A lot further out. Where are we? Like, so you'd probably, where I am, you'd probably kind of, it's like a Brunswick kind of, in sense of everything's getting knocked down, old houses, and then 2, 3, 4 units, townhouses going up. Just because of the location, more of the new estates are a bit further out, but everything's close in Adelaide. Like, do you know the Barossa Valley? You've heard of the Barossa Valley, Steve?
I don't know where it is.
Well, you'd think it's less than an hour from less than an hour from my place. Wine country. Okay. Everything's very close. Like, one thing I notice is they complain if they have to travel more than 20 minutes.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's it just seems to just, where I'm used to, you go from Tarneet to Brunswick and it'll take you an hour and a half in traffic, where if they had to take an hour and a half anywhere, that's like they're going on holidays.
Yeah.
So it's just few adjustments there. But no, absolutely, I think it's, as Dennis said, Dennis did come during their kind of madness month in March, which is, if you're going to come to Adelaide, do come during the festival season and fringe festivals on. So there's just so much happening. Most of the city's blocked just for festival stuff, and absolutely phenomenal food. I've got to say, the food is pretty phenomenal here. And Dennis and I had a night out in town. We had a great time.
Yeah.
Casino's fantastic. We had good food.
Burgers were great.
Good bars.
Yep.
No worries.
I mean, ask you about babysitting. So that obviously Jess's auntie, is that what you rely on, or?
Nah, we haven't. Jess and I haven't had a date. We've probably gone out once when Jess's mum came for dinner.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, and that's, I guess, to what is tough, no family support in terms of going out. You don't realize, you're like, oh shit, miss my friends. You'd think, we'll stay in, like, Dennis and I probably nearly talk every day.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Just shoot the shit.
I think the hardest thing would be not having a release there. Like, you can't just pop over and see your friends or your family or just go to places,
Yeah, it was funny. I got a mate, Kenny, lived in Sunbury, and we work at the same place. And sometimes during the week at work, we'd just be like, hey, 7-Eleven coffee. And, just chill out for half an hour and just shoot the shit. Yeah. And you don't realize how much that stuff actually meant to you, that release, that break, because we just don't quite have it. Because obviously, new place, you try and, I don't know, it's hard to make, you think making friends is easy, but there's making friends and making friends, right? There's being friendly with people, then making friends. Yeah. So, and I've just been so stuck into work, and then I'm like, well, when I'm not stuck into work, I got to give that time to the girls, at home. So yeah, but I don't regret it. I absolutely love Adelaide. I think if I could pick up a bunch of people and go, hey, let's all take over Adelaide, it would be absolutely amazing, because they won't know what hit them with a few Western Suburbs Vic boys like us. We'll rule this town, man. Yeah, yes, sir. But no, people are lovely. Like, it was one thing I had to get used to, Steve. You'll laugh at this. I'd go for a run, and everyone would say hi to me. Hi, hello, hey. I taught my daughter how to ride without training wheels. They're like, "You're doing so great." I'm like, don't talk to my kid, man. Because I'm used to the western suburbs. I'm like, do you want something? You're gonna sell me something?
It's like
Don't
the
say
art of
hi.
distraction in the western suburbs.
Yeah.
Someone's talking to you because someone's taking your
So it's more
wristwatch.
like a country town sort of vibe, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, that love their sport. Like we got a footy oval across the road from us, and during footy season, they're training every night and games all weekend, and it's packed. It's not like a local footy game in Melbourne where just the parents are there. Like people go to watch local footy.
Okay.
They're full into it. It's but it is nice to see. And I guess the difference, Steve, is hardly ever see a kid with an iPad in their hand.
Okay, that's good.
Like there's kids riding push bikes that are more expensive than bloody some cars I've owned. Because they're mountain bikes.
Yeah.
So it's an
it's
outdoor
nice,
lifestyle, is it?
Yeah. Like for example, we went for a walk. I do tease Dennis every time I go to the beach. I take a photo and send it to him.
Yeah, thanks.
And he just writes back something like, that's it. He just writes back something like magic or beautiful, serenity. These one-liners that Dennis comes up with. And you're walking along the beach and there's kids in the middle of winter training to be lifesavers.
Jeez. So the weather's good. The weather's better than Melbourne.
As a rule of thumb, just add a few degrees in winter. So I think the coldest it's gotten here was 9.
Okay.
Which is not that, compared to, I remember in summer it'd get to 1.
Yeah.
And then, but summer, 5 degrees, just +5. But the sun's a bit better, Dennis. Would you agree? A little less harsh.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it just feels like, I don't know if there's less cars, more ozone or something. I can't put my finger on it.
Is it 1 million people in South Australia?
1.6.
1.6, right. Wow.
But that's all. The South Australia is huge when you think
that's
about
right.
it. That's not Adelaide. That's South Australia.
Yeah, that's
so
huge.
I think it's 1.8 now.
Right.
In the last 12 months, they've had a growth of 200,000 people.
Yeah, property's gone gangbusters there, hasn't it?
15-20% growth across
Crazy.
Adelaide. There's some areas in Adelaide, 70% growth.
Wow.
In 12 months. It's just a cheap thing.
From other people coming from Melbourne?
It's all Sydney and Melbourne people, and that's why Adelaide people are getting frustrated because they go into these auctions and they don't have like the statement of position rules. Since you're Steve, you're in the game, they don't have that, so they don't have to tell you
what the price
guide.
Oh,
there's no price guides. They haven't got regulated yet.
Okay.
So you go into an auction and then they're going for 400,000-500,000 more because some guy's on the phone who's just like, that's chump change.
Yeah,
I'm
Melbourne
2Ks
money
from the city.
Yeah,
and they got Melbourne money. Yeah, they're on Melbourne time.
Yeah.
So they're just all getting outbid. But you can still get a house relatively cheap here, for where you are. But and I just said to all the people I'm meeting, you just got to. This is exactly what happened to Melbourne 10 years ago.
Yeah,
when probably all of us were first looking at homes. You could see it happening. It was just anywhere 10, 15 Ks out of the city was untouchable.
Yeah, it's insane, isn't it?
So it's happening here now too. The agents don't even need to try. So
do you still have your motorbike?
No, I sold it before I left.
Okay.
Because I didn't have to transport it. And so no, I've got my mountain bike still. So that's kind of, if I'm going to go out on a bike, I'll do that. There's so many within 5Ks of me, there's probably 10 mountain bike tracks. So it's just, like I said, it's outdoor lifestyle. I just think it's probably it is one of the most underrated cities. If missing family and stuff wasn't such a big thing, I would stay.
Yeah, right.
Okay. All right.
In terms of family lifestyle, Steve, I think for someone like yourself with the family, you would absolutely love it.
I reckon I would love it. Yeah.
You'd love that it's quiet. Everyone's quite nice. It's, there's less hustle and bustle.
In Melbourne, they're just arseholes. They really are.
No, you just don't get that here. People let you in traffic. I've been cut off once since I got here.
Yeah.
And I drive to the city most days.
Have you had to use
the
horn?
Parking and all that sort of stuff. Is it easy to find a car spot?
I live next door to their kind of my local shopping centre is probably their High Point or Chadstone. It's called Marion. It's a Westfield. And it's just mate, it's not you just get park. It's just easy. There's just no issues. But Dennis can probably agree to this. Just people just aren't out shopping. It's just not something you often go and do here. Yeah, in Melbourne, that's something to go do. Just go browse.
Yeah.
People here will rather go to watch local footy or go to the beach go for a hike, go mountain bike, wine country. There's a full crazy German village not far, Harndorf,
Yeah.
which is it's all old German after World War II, pretty much bought out a whole street and built.
Really?
Yeah, it's really cool. Pretty good. Yeah, so it's just there is a lot to do. Yeah, but enjoying it. Work's work. Work is work. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
But in terms of I just think if COVID wasn't here and the borders weren't closed, it'd be fine, because if we're ever missing family, it's a 50-minute flight and you could pick up flights for $60.
Yeah.
So like the flight's pretty easy, right, Dennis? You've done it a few times now.
It's super easy, and that was the plan, really, to come up, once a month or so, and we'll come over once a month or so and see you, because it is really easy. I mean, you leave on a Friday night, come back on a Sunday or a Monday. It's nothing.
But I guess, Dennis, you've fallen secretly in love with Adelaide. Why don't you share what you think?
Yeah, I have fallen secretly in love with Adelaide. It is a really, really good place. Why are you laughing, Stephen?
Just because the way you repeated it.
Because I've fallen really in love with it.
Yeah, it's like it is a bit of a secret because he's a Westie, man. Can't take it out of Dennis.
It is. I mean, there's a place. So I consider Adelaide to be a mini version of Melbourne, in the sense of what Melbourne was a few years ago. So it's starting to have all the laneways with the bars, the cocktail bars, and little speakeasy whiskey places, and all the little burger restaurants. But yeah, there was where was it? Peel Street, I think you and I went to. It's great.
That cocktail bar.
Yeah, service was amazing. It's what Melbourne used to be, right? It's not just eat and go. It is much more personable.
Do you find though that younger people end up wanting more, and sort of go to, or maybe better education, go to Melbourne, go to Sydney, whatever? Do you find that?
So what I'm finding is most people do with Adelaide is they'll leave in their 20s and come back when they're ready to have a family.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
That's what mostly, because they find in your 20s, they find this to be quite boring. But it's like anything, you're in Melbourne in your 20s and going out into the CBD and whatever, it is what it is. That's what you're used to.
Yeah.
But I think it, like Dennis said, it has changed a bit to keep the younger people in. And I think in terms of education wise, to be honest, people seem more educated here than most people in Victoria. They say branch. You don't say branch. Branch.
That's the Adelaide accent, isn't it?
There is some Adelaide words that I'm, secretly I still say branch. What are you going to do? So yeah, it's but that's from what I've gathered is they leave when they're young and they all come back in their late 20s and then settle down, because it's just the lifestyle is so good. It's not as hardcore as probably Queensland's lifestyle, that really relaxed lifestyle. It's probably a good in between of Melbourne and Queen. That's probably the best way to describe it. It's Gold Coast and Melbourne put together.
Okay, so it's meet in the middle.
But it's weird, Steve, because you got the beachfront, right? And not everyone likes the beachfront. That's the south of Adelaide. Then you got North Adelaide, which is more kind of like Toorak feel, lots of trees, but there's trees everywhere. But then because you've got the Barossa Valley and the mountains, because you're surrounded by the Adelaide Hills, it's like 5 different places all in this small area. But they love a drink and they love their wine here, because apparently most of the best wines come from Adelaide. But I was saying to Dennis that I went and met another friend in the Barossa Valley. They were staying up there for a few days, and mate, the gin bars and the wine tours and just phenomenal. I said Dennis would just lose it there. Like, it's just so Dennis and Avril, it's not funny. You cruise around on a little electronic bikes from
that part's not me.
Winery to winery, eating food and drinking wine. It's phenomenal. I couldn't believe it. And it was 59 minutes from my house. And it was like a whole other world.
You're right.
How's the electric car take up in South Australia?
There's Tesla fast stations in the city. I actually see quite
on the road.
Yeah, I see quite a few. But the other thing is, because if you live in that kind of 10, 15K radius of the city, you don't go above 80 Ks an hour. You don't need to go on the freeway. It's all highway. So I think you actually don't see that many posh cars here unless you go to like your Norwood. There is a Toorak here, which is quite in a Richmond, like that North Adelaide area. You're going to see your BMWs and you're going to see your X, what are they, the Model X?
Yeah.
You're going to see those sort of cars. But I that's one thing I have noticed. Not a lot of people drive new cars here. I think, one, because a lot of the houses don't have big garages. And you just don't, honestly, if you just buy a Corolla here and you'd be right, it'd last you forever because you don't put many Ks on it.
Yeah. But have you heard about what the Victorian government's doing with electric cars? How they're charging an extra?
Yeah, they're starting to tax you on you charging up your car, right?
No, they're going to basically, when you pay your rego, you've got to put evidence of your odometer, whatever they call it, your speedo, and
your ODO.
Basically you get charged per K.
It's 2.5 cents. 2.5 cents.
2.5 cents per K.
Yeah.
So that's why I asked to see if the government over there is going to penalise electric cars or giving rebate or giving cash like everyone else is.
I just know with solar and stuff, they're pretty big on it here. But electricity is really expensive here. That's the one thing I noticed. Like utilities are very expensive here. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I thought it'd be Tesla battery there.
Yeah. I thought it'd be nice and pay an extra few kilowatt to make sure it came from green energy. I can't even prove that that's the case, but and then I got my first electric bill and I'm like, shit, I better go back to coal, mate. But it goes so.
All right, kids, back on the bicycle.
Yeah. End of days style. But I guess Steve would love you and the family to come up when you can. I think you'd really enjoy it.
Me and Am already said as soon as we're out of lockdown, we're going to take about a week holiday. I want to drive up because I love driving.
We'll come then.
To Adelaide, 100%. Because I've never been.
No, you would love it. I reckon you and the kids. What do you reckon, Dennis? Steve, what do you reckon? You're going to vote Steve would enjoy it here?
I think he would, but the only thing that I think...
Do you like the beach, Steve?
I do. I don't like the sand, but I like the beach.
We'll take you to a water park then. Sorry, Dennis, what are you saying?
Is there a water park there?
Is there a water park?
I think I just got a message.
Yeah, so did I.
Come up.
You upgraded.
Yeah, because we're using the free version here.
I was going to say, you're paying 2.5 cents a minute now.
Sorry, what we're saying that Steve doesn't like saying, is there a water park? There's a water park actually, Marion Water Park right next door to my house. But my daughter was begging us to go there for her birthday. And of course we didn't plan it and we didn't book because of COVID.
Oh, okay.
So they only had limited spots in an outdoor park, but what do you do? But
do you have to wear masks? Do you have to wear masks
at the moment? So we only have to wear masks indoors. So outdoors we don't need to wear it. In office buildings and stuff, it is highly recommended.
Okay.
But no, and obviously we didn't have a COVID announcement in South Australia today because we had all those exposure spots from the truck drivers coming through from New South Wales. But we'll wait and see. I'm just said, we're going to get locked down. I reckon we will. I might have to go get a haircut tomorrow and go eat out, go get some dinner. I was saying to Dennis the other day, I went out for Korean barbecue while you guys are in lockdown and drank too much soju. So it is pretty good here. I think the government's got it a bit more under control.
Well, I don't think it's more under control. I think they're just a lot more sensible and realistic. That's what it is, right?
Yeah. Our health minister's not a gronk. That's the difference.
How's this? Wait, I've got to tell you something. I booked my vaccine online, right? Dennis, you would know Daniel Andrews always barks on about no one rocking up to their appointments.
Yep.
Right? I booked a slot in a month's time and I ended up calling my local clinic and got an appointment. I got it today, right?
Right.
So I've tried to log in to cancel the appointment and my appointment is not in the system.
Wow.
Right? So it's like, that's why no one's cancelling because you can't. The system doesn't even work.
And this is the problem. I mean, they award all these IT contracts to people or they just haven't even awarded them. It's still the archaic, systems that they were 10 years ago or 15 years ago, and they just don't work. They're not functional.
It's just ridiculous. But anyway, what do you do?
So
what are you driving now? Corolla, Paul?
And I got the work gave me a Kia Sportage.
Oh, did
nice
they?
car.
Okay.
Very
it's
nice.
Not bad,
car.
isn't it? For a Kia, I still wouldn't buy a Kia. It's too plastic.
And we'd like to thank our main sponsor, Kia. So
did you keep the WRX or did you sell it?
No, I got ridden off before I left.
You wrote it off.
No, I didn't write it off. I can drive, Steve.
Okay.
No, so remember when it got broken into at High Point Shopping Centre car park and it got repaired?
No, I don't remember.
So, because High Point with the workers there make you park all the way out the back of an up-level parking with no cameras. Got broken into. They tried to steal it. Didn't realize it has a high-end immobilizer in it. You're never going to get the thing started unless you rewire the whole loom. And they just destroyed the interior. Got it repaired the first time. Second time, it happened again. They ripped out the computer, all the dash, everything. They just probably got frustrated and destroyed it, and they wrote it off. But I got paid out quite well for that.
Okay, that's all right.
But in saying that, it's probably worth another 10 grand and probably what I got paid out on it. Like the used car market's just gone through the roof. Yeah. And I was just saying, that's why I wanted to speak to you about cars, Steve, because just around, because I know we've both got a love of a few cars, but the one car I've always wanted to buy was an EK9 Type R Civic, 1999.
Yeah.
And one just went up for sale in Vic. Yeah. Guess how much? A 1999 Honda Civic.
Don't say more than 15 grand.
52. Because you're not allowed to import them from Japan anymore because of pollution laws.
That's bullshit. I don't know.
So there's only a finite of them left in Australia. So when they probably come up for sale every 2 years.
Yeah.
One will come up. And when they do it's funny.
How you see on the auctions, right, with how the Maloos.
They're going through the roof. Yeah.
900 grand for a freaking Holden. I mean, people want things just because other people can't have them? Surely.
No, but you got to, so I was just going to say the last time I saw one come up was in Queensland, a Civic, and it was 24. So in 2 years, doubled. But it's on the Holden front, right? You got to remember, it's people like my old man's age who do have, if they were successful, have a spare $500 million to throw around at a car that used to be like their.
I know,
it's like a throwback. It's like
a Maloo. I don't know.
No, not a Maloo, but like when you see like the old, the old Fords and old Holden,
that's different. There's nostalgia there. Right?
I think what you're talking
about the new Maloos.
Well, because everyone thinks those. Because everyone thinks they're going to be worth big bucks. They all think they're going to go put them in their shit in 50 years' time. They're going to sell them for 10 million or whatever it will be. That's the difference.
I know, but will it though?
It was all the last production ones that are going for crazy money. Yeah, the ones that before production ended.
Yeah, all the GTS, they're worth close to $1 million. The Maloo sold for 900 grand.
My family friend of mine, he got the last SSV red line sedan in green. The last one to come off the lot in Adelaide before it closed. There's the factory. So he's got it in his garage. He's never driven it.
Yeah.
And that's just an SS.
Yeah.
So on the car front, it's just I know you've owned a lot of cars and you've gone through them, but I did listen to the episode and it was interesting. You didn't really bring up your Holden experience and you driving a Holden.
Which one? I had two.
You had your Club Sport, wasn't it? You had a Clubby?
I had a Club Sport. Oh, no, I had three. I had a Club Sport. I had a V Calais as well. And I had a Monaro as well.
Which was the last one you owned?
The Club Sport.
That was Clubby. And that was a blue one, right?
No, that was silver.
Silver.
And everyone was telling me, you can't buy a car like that, not buy a manual. I've never driven manual in my life, so I buy a manual. And when I went to pick it up, they had the car in the showroom and they wanted me to drive it out. And I did a bunny hop straight out, almost smashed in the window. And I'm looking around, they're all looking at me going, what a dickhead.
Oh,
So
it's
it was a good drive home, that one.
yeah, you had to just get out and get them. If you had an Uber, get them to drive it. You sit in the passenger seat.
I learned quick.
Yeah, you do. It's funny. Same story. A friend of mine, he needed a car, and the only car everyone used to come to my dad for a car because my dad's a motor mechanic. Dad, mate's got a $5,000 budget. What do you got that's good? And when I go, I've got XXX laying around, or I've got a family, So there's this Integra, and it was clean as 1999, some weird Indy Rally 500 model. I don't know, but it was clean. The thing was, it was manual, and the guy is my mate Kenny. He's not going to care that I tell the story, but it's manual, and he goes, "Well, I really like Integras, so I'll just buy it. If your dad says I'll just learn. I'll just learn." Yeah. So we go and pick up this car from my dad's workshop at like 10 at night, and he drove me there in my car, and then he drove my car and I drove the manual back, and then we both lived in Melton at the time, and then I'm like, well, he needs to come to work tomorrow. He used to work for me. Like, I'm gonna have to teach this guy to drive, otherwise he's not gonna be able to get to work tomorrow. So we're doing a driving lesson in a new estate at 11 o'clock. And he's bunny hopping, he's going slowly, just scared to get to a red light, all this stuff. So we had this 45-minute driving lesson. He was okay. And then he dropped me off at home, and then he just went into the darkness. And I'm like, I hope he comes to work tomorrow. Then we're working at Caroline Springs at the time, and I got there early, and I just see this Integra slowly come around the corner at the roundabout, come in. He made it. Good on him. First time ever driving a manual. And then we always laugh because it was like, SpongeBob 2 weeks later, And then he's got the sunroof open, having a ciggy, shifting gears, having a coffee, just in 2 weeks, just was like a pro. But
yeah, I did that with a truck as well, with a moving truck. I hired, they said, have you ever driven a manual truck before? I go, yeah, no, should be all right. This is budget, right? And I go there, and there was something with it that I don't think you could go back from second to first while you're rolling in the moving truck. And I kept every time going, because I'm going back to first. And
the synchro was all out.
I'm not getting my bond back for sure.
It's all oil.
Yeah. Now that was stressful, doing a handbrake start in a truck full of your stuff. That was stressful.
Yeah.
But, to save money, it always ends up biting me in the ass. When I try and save money, it always...
Yeah, you might as well just pay someone.
Yeah, that's right. Just pay someone.
Yeah, but yeah, so cars was... I think that's all I wanted to... Because I don't think you really mentioned all your Holdens too much in those stories. You're too busy talking about the exotic cars. Too good for the Australian, mate.
I had an XR8 as well. I don't know if I mentioned
Did you like the XR8?
I loved that car.
Yeah, I reckon.
What did you get?
BA?
BA, yeah, it was purple as well.
Yeah, it was a nice car. I know the color.
What did you get rid of?
I reckon I really underestimated. Sorry?
What did you get rid of it? What car did you have after that? Yeah.
Well, it was during the video shop. I thought I was going to make a killing, and then the video shop didn't work. So I bought a Magna after that. I didn't mention that one.
Yeah, I wouldn't mention a Magna either.
I bought a green Magna for $9,000, I remember. And that didn't last long. I think that was 6 months. I'm like, Amber, I can't do this. This is terrible.
And then what did you go to from the Magna?
I can't remember. I've had that many bloody cars. I can't remember that one. That's shocking.
Do you have a photo of all of your cars? Did you just take photos of each?
I only took photos of ones that I liked. So
yeah,
not the ones I didn't like. So I've got definitely one of the XR8. That I remember that was a great car. That I like that. Like even the interior, it was super modern. Like I reckon it still stacks up for till today. That interior, it was pretty cool. Yeah.
No, if you look at a Ford interior now, they're horrible.
Oh, they? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
My memory of it had blue lights. Looked pretty cool. But
yeah, no, they were a good car. But then you got Dennis, who owned 3 cars in his life.
Yeah, his first car was an Astra.
No,
it was a Corolla, red Corolla.
Oh, was that Astra the second?
That was the second car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I never.
We had some good times in that Astra, Dennis.
Oh, we had some good times in that Corolla as well.
I think the Astra, there's probably some more funnier stories than the Corolla. But we won't go into those.
No, we won't go
stories.
into those ones.
Other than blasting Hammerfall in a grey Corolla in the middle of the city. And then you had, after that, you had the WRX, didn't you?
No, I had a company car.
Yeah, that's right. The Corolla, white Corolla.
Yeah, white Corolla, which was a workhorse.
Yeah. And then you had the WRX.
Yeah, I think then I had the Rex, yeah.
And then now you catch the Loser Cruiser to work.
No, not even, mate. I work from home.
Work from home.
His wheelie chair. That's what he catches.
Yeah, wheelie chair, yeah.
But I'm similar to you, Steve. I've had so many cars, obviously not as nice, all bombs. I just used to buy them till they died or the rego ran out and they just got another one.
That's why my thing was, as soon as the warranty finishes, buy another car. So, I've had so many cars that I haven't serviced. I haven't had them that long enough to service them.
No.
Anyway.
Yeah, I know. I had wait, 1, 2. I can't even. No, I'm not going to even count because I've had bikes in there as well. But what I used to do is just buy bombs from my dad, and then when the rego ran out, gave it back, and then it went to the wreckers. Then it went to the wreckers. But yeah. Well, that's what's been going on with me in the last probably 12 months. I know we speak, Steve and I, but Dennis and I speak all the time. But I know you and I speak from time to time. But it's do miss. I haven't been back to Vic since Christmas. So my wife's been back a few times, lucky enough to go back before we got into hard lockdowns. But
you're not missing out.
Yeah, I do miss it.
Wow.
Yeah, I think you say that, but like I just want to go to High Point, drive to High Point.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Get my favorite coffee. Yeah, everything's closed. I can't even go do that, can I?
Mate, you don't understand. You literally, there is nothing to do.
Nothing open. But everyone's on the road. Right, so you go out. It's supposed to be lockdown, and it's bumper to bumper traffic. Like I remember when it was first locked down last year, that because I could still work, that I was driving from Templestowe to Point Cook in half an hour, right? So which usually takes about an hour, and now it'll take an hour. Like it's just no one gives a shit this time around, to be honest. And I think that's why, it's, I don't know. It's just, it's hard because I agree with certain things where, vaccination, whatever, everyone's got their opinion on it, but you can't enforce things that people don't want to put into their bodies, but at the same time to then go, the government, we're only going to open up once people are vaccinated. It's a shakedown.
It's an absolute shakedown. But you're right. I mean, I think just quickly on it, 18 months in, people have realized that people aren't dropping dead like they were making it out to be. So you got to do what you got to do and drive around.
Yeah, and fair enough. Like when it first all was happening, no one knew what was happening. It was all unknown and people were scared, but it's almost like it's gotten to a point where if the government does a U-turn now, it shows that they were wrong for 18 months. So it's almost like when you get to it, you've taken the lie so long, you just got to keep lying.
Yeah.
It's almost like that. And I'm not saying that, I get it. But I just don't think, the fact that we're getting scared of 100 cases of a virus, that's such a big number. 1,000 cases in New South Wales is the end of the world. It's not like, I think we worked it out, Dennis, 0.03% of their population on a daily basis that's got it, and that's what I was saying, that, no one stops you from going and eating Hungry Jacks every day.
That's right. If we put this much support into cancer research or something like that, we'd be in a different position, but hey.
Anyway. Well, that's another thing I think as well. It's stopping people going for normal issues like heart disease or cancer. It's stopping people from going.
Well, Steve, how's this? So 4 newborns died in South Australia last week because South Australia is one of the only hospitals that doesn't have a cardiac set up for babies that small.
Oh wow!
So because really what they were doing was it was just easier to fly them to Melbourne.
Right.
Okay.
all 4 died because they would not let them in because of COVID.
Oh
Jesus.
my God, you're joking.
There was too much hoops to jump through to get them there in time, and that all 4 died.
That's disgusting. That is absolutely
But,
How come
disgusting.
we don't hear that sort of stuff?
Before people died with COVID in New South Wales, and we're locked down.
Yeah. See,
Like,
you don't hear about that, do you?
No.
No.
Okay.
And it's just and that made Adelaide news. It wouldn't have made anywhere else.
No.
But it should make news in Melbourne.
Should be the top
The
story.
problem is like, we're just sharing our narrative right now to prove our point, and that's it's just a vicious cycle rule.
Yeah.
Like, we all don't agree with it, but yeah, I think it feels a bit like, okay, well, we're wrong. Cool. I think if you just said we're wrong and this is what we're going to do, I think people would forgive and forget pretty quick if you let them get back to normal. But
just
that's the problem. We all say, what do you do? It is what it is. But if it's not working, I was saying to Dennis, if you were put on a project and you're getting paid by a company $500,000 to roll out a project and it was going this poorly 18 months in, mate, the board would have replaced you, everyone, months ago. So how come us as the people can't stand up and will say, well, we need some kind of new leadership here, because the current, and it's weird because it's almost become a pissing contest now. It's like, and I was saying it's like almost like there's 5 Australias right now.
That's right.
The states, yeah. That's why I don't understand how the federal government can't step in.
That's right.
I thought the PM was like their boss. I thought the PM was like their boss. Like, ScoMo would just call Andrew and go, mate, what are you doing, yeah? But he's almost like, fuck you, boss. Fuck you, ScoMo. Your dog, you gave them more vaccines. It's like, you don't talk to your boss like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought that what's the point of the federal government if they can't overrule the state government?
Well, that's right. And I think because I remember you used to always going like, the federal, that you're voting for your federal government, that's the most important one. This is the one I'm going to actually take my time and do. Yeah. But now we all realize that the state government's the one that matters. That's the one. And
we pay the majority of our income tax to federal government. No, all our income tax is federal government.
Yeah, but I think that's because of Centrelink and stuff and Medicare.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't give a shit, to be honest. There's nothing much you can change about it, but I just don't understand, what's going on. Why the hold up.
They're all as bad as each other. That's the one thing that's been proven. So it doesn't matter what side of politics you're on.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah,
that's it. And I think if, whatever a new bunch of people got in, and let's just say Vic, I don't think it would change much.
Well, the only thing that would change is how they connect to the common person, which is the one thing Victoria isn't good at, which is connecting to the people. Whereas your boy over there, Stephen Marshall, he's very good at connecting, right?
I told you I saw him, yeah.
Oh, did you? No, you didn't tell me, but did you see him?
I was like, Marshall's there, mate. Watch out.
Steve,
No, I didn't.
Hey, just conscious of time, this thing's going to stop recording. So before we go, Paul, top 3 movies or top 3 TV shows of all time for you?
Fuck me.
Come on the spot.
Can I go series of movies and not just select one? So the Aliens franchise, Lord of the Rings franchise, and then I'm going to have to go Star Wars. Other than it's hard with Star Wars because I'm such a big fan of the original 3, and I did like Rogue One. I thought Rogue One was really good, and I thought the
Solo
one where I didn't watch it. The one where they brought back Harrison Ford, and then no spoiler alerts, he died. But that was good. Yeah, but I think in terms of probably icon like stuff that I've watched, it has to be Alien franchises number 1.
Really?
Yeah, Alien and Aliens was.
I tried to watch it. I fell asleep the first one.
Alien. Yeah. You're nuts, man. We'll watch it together. I'll get you into it. I'll get you into the spirit. Right. I think that was 1979. Yeah. Would you like to know more? So Dan will share this in a sec about Starship Troopers and Steve and I.
I thought that was going to be at number 1.
I'll put it at number 3 for you, Steve. Starship Troopers. So number 3, it's a hard one. I'm just thinking of movies that I've just gone back and watched a million times. Like there's so many Scorsese films, so many Tarantino, but we'll leave it at those two. In terms of TV shows, I think Game of Thrones just has to go up there because it's just so epic in terms of a TV show.
Okay.
In terms of the first TV show I kind of really got into that was, it would be Band of Brothers.
Oh yeah, old school. Yeah.
The World War II one. And then for me, Entourage. Like I've watched Entourage at least 10 times. I don't know what it is about that show. It's not the best show. For me, I just enjoy, like, Johnny Drama just has direct link to my funny bone.
Yeah.
I think he's hilarious. I don't know. Entourage would be up there.
Have you seen it,
And
Steven?
I'm just thinking of shows.
I've never seen Entourage.
Oh, wow.
Not even one.
Push through the first 2 seasons of Entourage and you'll...
First 2 seasons. Fuck.
No, just because the clothes... When you watch...
patience.
No, when you watch it now, the clothes are really daggy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then it kind of catches up. But no, Entourage is great. But didn't you want to ask me about animes? And because Dennis painted me like I'm into animes and hentai and stuff, but...
Oh, you are?
No, I'm not into hentai. Calm down.
Yeah, you are. Come on.
Okay, I got that octopus suit that I wear. No, but I was... there's a few series there that just... obviously, Neon Genesis Evangelion, Samurai Champloo.
Mate, you might as well be talking
Because I love...
Japanese.
So when I was a kid, Steve, and we all had a movie that your mum put on to shut you up, yeah?
Yeah.
What was yours?
Mine,
Do you remember?
No, it was just whatever was on TV with me. It wasn't. I wasn't that lucky.
So you didn't have a go-to movie?
No.
Did your daughters?
Oh yeah, Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, see, ours was Labyrinth for Eve
Oh, okay.
with David Bowie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dennis, did you have a movie other than Greek TV?
The Greek Smurfs.
Because you had the big satellite in your backyard? covered in
Galaxy. Had Galaxy.
Yeah,
Remember
Galaxy.
No, I used to watch Smurfs, but it was overdubbed in Greek because I couldn't understand English when I was a kid.
You're such a boss. See, mine was Godzilla, 1989.
Oh, really?
Or Godzilla the 19. Yeah,
I didn't know
it
that.
was like just obsessed with it. My mum, so she just like, because I had this weird cousin that would get me to watch Chucky when I was 5 and shit. probably why I am the way I am. And Godzilla was just like, I just was glued to it.
What did you think of Kong versus Godzilla?
I haven't watched it yet. I refuse to pay for it because I'm worried it's gonna be that bad.
It is shocking.
As soon as I saw Kong with like an electricity axe, I was like, nah, I'm out. But it's funny because I've got a few like little Godzilla models, and my daughters are like, oh, Godzilla, like they always play with the models, and then I'm trying to think of the ones I could show them because it's not like I can go show them Shin Godzilla or one of these Japanese ones. So I showed them. They're just not going to get it. If I was going to recommend a Godzilla film to you, that's watch Shin Godzilla, which is a Japanese. We'll talk offline, Steve. It's all right. I'll give you a call another day. But
I think we watched that in the plane on the way home that time when we went to Queensland.
And I think I was showing you how cool Godzilla was.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, it's all right.
Yeah. No, but
we were watching it on the screen this big. You just can't.
Yeah. And so I showed them, the only one I thought I could show them at their age was the kind of not the one with the dude from not the one where it had the Puff Daddy song in it. Not that Godzilla. Do you remember the one?
That one. That was like 1998. That one.
Yeah, not that one. That one was horrible. It was the latest remake where it had Breaking Bad in it. Malcolm in the Middle.
I know that one.
Yeah, Malcolm.
That wasn't bad. That was all right.
And I thought, because it's kind of like Jurassic World, they would, and they loved it. They thought Godzilla was the coolest thing, fighting the bugs and stuff. But I was going to say, because Steve, you've never really watched Japanese kind of cartoons or series, but I showed you Ninja Scroll.
That was good. I like that.
That was, Ninja Scroll's like, if you're going to get someone into kind of Japanese animation, a movie, you just show them Ninja Scroll because it's got the right amount of, weird Japaneseness in terms of, boobs and stuff and blood. But then it's just an awesome ninja film.
What do you think about, have you seen the new Star Wars anime that's going to come out?
Yeah, I've seen preview. Yeah, and they just did one for The Witcher as well. And it looks phenomenal. Okay. It's on Netflix now. So I don't know. Did you watch Witcher?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I like that. It was
Yeah.
good. I
Yeah.
had to
So
watch
they.
it twice though. I didn't get it the first time around.
Yeah, same. I had to watch it twice too. Did you watch Witcher, Dennis?
No.
No.
Not into that sort of stuff.
But
No,
New Billions comes out next week,
Oh,
doesn't
no,
it? Dennis?
Billions comes out on Monday, 1:00.
Monday. There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah, there you go. So I was going to say, but how are you for time, Dennis? 2 minutes?
You know, I don't have a countdown. I'm just going by 40 odd minutes of the time that it gives us, right? So I'm just kind of hoping. I'm hoping it doesn't cut us. Yeah, I'm hoping it doesn't just cut us out. I'm hoping it gives us at least a 5-minute warning.
That's fine. Can't you see the dollar counter going up along? You're getting the bill at the end.
Yeah, no, the good thing is I put your credit card in. So keep talking.
This socials.
Yeah, list social.
I'm not the
I like the t-shirt, Steve. I like it. Looks good.
Oh, thanks. I may have bigger boobs because I had Pfizer today.
And you can control. Can you control your outlook with your eyes now?
Look, it's a magnet. It's sticking to my hand.
Yeah. And there's the tape there. Yeah, the double-sided tape.
Yeah.
But I haven't listened to the episode. Did it end up getting pulled? Your last episode you did?
No, we did 2 episodes. We did
with your mate Dennis.
We did the Flat Earth one. No, that's still up there. That's still fine. We did another one after
I got to
that.
listen to it.
But the views are so different. One of them's got 10 times. The Flat Earth episode's got 10 times the amount of views, and the other one of just Stephen and I.
The Flat Earth one.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's a big community.
Yeah, there's a few comments on there, so it's worth reading them.
Yeah, no, that was a good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that.
To be honest, sorry, I haven't listened to those two.
That's all right, mate. I mean,
I'm worried if I listen to the Flat Earth one, I might throw my bloody phone.
Yeah, I mean,
but we won't get into that.
You hear my voice enough. If you got to, actually, I didn't talk much in that episode. That was primarily Stephen and Adam.
Well, look, no one really gets to the end of these podcasts, so we can say whatever we want. Usually people watch the first 5 minutes and then it just goes,
and then you're sad. Yeah.
So we can say whatever.
Well, I guess we'll just keep talking until it cuts us off, unless you've got nothing else to talk about.
Yeah, no. I thought we are just getting into films, but
let's talk about films.
So I was going to suggest if you're going to, it's obviously I'm showing my kind of the era of anime and stuff, but did you ever watch Spirited Away, Steve?
Yes, that was cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, that's kind of like the Disney of
I watched
Japan.
that. There's another one where it's
Howl's Moving Castle.
Yeah, I saw that. That was good.
Had Christian Bale as the voice.
Yeah.
That one's pretty safe too. There's Arrietty. There's a few of my daughters love the fish one.
Ponyo.
Yeah, they love Ponyo. I was going to say, bring that one up, Steve. Look that one up. But yeah, Ponyo's good. But did you watch Luca with the kids?
Yes.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I thought it was really good.
It was all right.
Maybe it's the Italian. Maybe it's the Italian coming.
No, it's Pixar. I believe are losing their humor. They're trying to go too serious and emotional. That's what like you look at Monsters Inc., Toy Story. They're hilarious, right? But you watch. I think with what they're doing is when, for example, I'm forgetting titles. It must be getting late. I am half an hour behind. Soul? Have you seen Soul?
Yeah, but I didn't think, Soul was obviously, I actually thought that was good too. But they're getting so into the premise of it, so what's the culture?
Yeah, it's too much.
Especially with the I can't believe I'm forgetting the title of the Mexican one.
Oh, that was great.
Coco, yeah, but it was so involved in the Mexican culture. And then I think Luca was the same.
With the Italians, yeah.
Yeah, they're just getting so, and I get it. Like, it's pretty cool. They're doing their research and still absolutely beautiful to watch, though.
You know what? Both of you would love this. Devs. You got to watch it. Have you seen it?
Devs? No.
Yeah. You would like it.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's a series.
Right.
Have you seen Ex Machinima?
Yeah.
Ex Machinima, whatever it is. It's by that guy that wrote and directed that movie. And
it's not getting good ratings, Steve.
Devs, you have to watch. Trust me, it's fantastic. I loved it.
They mustn't have paid Rotten Tomatoes, Metacritic, or IMDb.
Nah, I'm telling you, it's worth watching. I really loved it. And there's
Streaming
another one that was with, because look, there's so much shows out there now that if you're really going to go for a full season and commit to it, you really got to like it, a lot. Like this, like I've just signed up to the Apple TV for the 30 days free to see what's on that.
Are you watching Mythic Quest? Watch Mythic Quest. Fantastic. The guys from Always Sunny.
Is that on
Apple TV?
Apple TV? Okay.
Yeah, season 1 and 2. It's got an Aussie actress in it. She's hilarious too. I really enjoyed it. It's about a company. I've seen Seed. Yeah.
I'm watching that. That sort of annoys me because they fight like they could see, but they can't see. What else? Yeah, the morning show Wars with Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon. I'm watching that because that's another problem. Me and my wife, trying to agree on a show to watch is hard. So when we find one that we both like, it's good. There's this Nicole Kidman one on at the moment called 9 Perfect Strangers on Prime, as Amazon Prime. That's really good. We both like that. But Loki, we loved Loki. And
I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it?
No, I didn't watch them.
What about WandaVision?
Not to cut you. No, not really. Not to cut you off, but I think
not a Marvel fan?
No, mate. Who doesn't like the Avengers? Yeah, and I'm Spider-Man. But I actually think I watched the Snyder cut of Justice League.
That was really good. And
I just rewatched the director's cut of Batman versus Superman. That was so good. Ben Affleck is hands down up there as one of the coolest, underrated Supermans. The fact that he's so reliant on his gadgets, he's a bit more brutal. I like that he's got an actual voice box. He just doesn't change his voice. He's huge and he's beefcake as, I thought they were really underrated. I rewatched it and I was like, this is so, I couldn't and I just think because at the time when they were coming out, they were trying to compete with the Marvel at its peak.
Yeah.
But I reckon they're better than most of the Marvel movies that came out.
It depends, right? Yeah.
Marvel's a bit more ice cream than that.
Yeah. So I loved Man of Steel. I thought that was. I love Superman.
It made me like Superman. I never really liked Superman until I watched Zack Snyder's version of him.
Yeah. Okay.
And plus Henry, just doing his deadlifts, how muscly, jacked he is. So I'm coming across I like guys, but just not that matters, Not that matters, Dennis.
He's huge. He's huge.
Yeah, but I think those are really good. But I've been rewatching ever since I listened to it on Joe Rogan, and I'm not going to say his last name right, because he's got his new movie coming out, Demonic. Neil Vickerblock, the South African guy who done Chappie, District 9, Chappie, Elysium. I love his.
I love all them. I love all those.
Yeah. I rewatched Elysium the other night, and I was just like, the South African accent just gets me. It's just so good.
You know how you and me are talking about sci-fi right now, and this is how Dennis. I feel like you when you and Paul are talking about metal. That's how you're feeling right now.
Well, I was going to suggest let's do an episode just on whatever you guys are talking about, because you might as well be talking Swahili to me because I have no idea what you're saying.
All right, but Dennis, what was I going to say to you? That some new albums, if you want to check some out, Dennis, that you're listening to, you might even be able to get involved in this. Have you listened to Kanye West's new album?
You know what? It got pushed to me by YouTube Music.
Of course.
Yeah, and I don't get it. I don't get it. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just too old.
It reminds me of 9 Inch Nails a little bit. Everyone thinks he's he's so out there. I'm like, have you ever listened to 9 Inch Nails? Or Dillinger Escape Plan or anything like that? I actually don't mind it. But I was going to say, Dennis, I was trying to tell Dennis about Turnstile is a good punk album to listen to. Stephen, write this one down, mate.
He's not going to listen to it.
I'm Google searching Yee. That's his name now, is it Yee?
Oh, that's right. Kanye.
No, he just goes back. I think the album is Kanye West, but it's Donda is the album. He just yells it, Donda, Donda. But that's a good album. I was going to tell you about that. That other Aussie punk band, Homelands. They got an EP out, which is good.
I've just written that down. See,
but I think Turnstile is because Steve, you don't know this, but Dennis and I had plans to make a political punk band to write about lockdowns and stuff, and we're going to start recording music as a laugh.
What was the name?
We won't share some of the song titles.
No, we won't. But what was the name of the band?
A Corpse Burner or something.
Yeah.
But
and I think one of the songs are going to be. I won't even go into it. But
you had a good one though. Was it "Bleed the State Dry" or
Bleed
something?
the State Dry.
Yeah,
and dog breath after the New South Wales health minister, because you could just tell he's got that dog breath, right?
Dog breath.
Yeah, after Brad Hazard. If you're listening, Brad, thanks for tuning in. But I assume you got dog breath.
What was this Sutton the Mutton or something?
Sutton the Mutton, yeah.
I want to know who all these health advisors. Let me say from the chief. Who's the chief health officer? Who is that? Do we know?
That is Brett.
But every state has their own health officer. You mean at a federal level?
Daniel Andrews always says the chief health.
Yeah, that's Brett.
That's Brett Sutton.
That's Sutton the Mutton. Yeah.
Is he the chief health officer?
Yeah.
Of Victoria.
Yeah,
so ours is Nicola, who everyone loves.
Yeah, New South Wales has got the horse face lady.
Jesus.
And Queensland's got that other.
Who even knows? And WA's just got the dictator there.
Yeah, dictator.
He doesn't even show the health minister, you know.
He is the health minister as well as the premier.
He is. He looks after health in the military. I just loved if you vote against him, he just put you on a missile and shoot you out of WA. I was reading all these memes. Jesus.
So
I'm trying to convince work to let me go to WA next week.
Don't go.
So we've got some end of year meetings coming up, and I was like, well, the only place I can go is visit the WA manager.
End of year? When's your financial year end?
September 30.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Bankia.
There you go.
Yeah. So our financial year is September 30 for the banks. Too much going on at June 30, mate.
Fair enough.
That doesn't just make things a bit more confusing for nothing.
So all the banks are on a September 30 year.
Really? I didn't know that.
Except all the crummy credit unions.
Paul and I started a podcast. Well, we recorded one episode, and it was going to be. Go on.
You go, but my microphone quality was really bad with the other headset I used. So hopefully this one's a bit better. You can give me feedback later.
Yeah.
Sounds
good, doesn't it?
Yeah. So our premise, Steve, of the podcast is, Dennis and I probably listen to the same bands that we probably listened to 10 years ago.
20 years ago,
we're a bit fickle.
Yeah.
More than that. So we thought we wanted to do a podcast where every episode we would randomly select a new album from a style or genre that we both liked. Because Dennis and I didn't always agree on genres of music that we liked. So we're going to just bring an album. We weren't allowed to listen to it beforehand, and we're going to play it and kind of pause and talk about guitar tones, production, and just try and find that flair again of what music, like we obviously haven't stopped loving music, but it wasn't, when we were young, we were talking about it was the be all and end all of life for us was music.
Yeah.
It was what we lived and breathed. It was our full identity. So we thought, a better way to get a live reaction of us listening to, like we used to do when we used to put on a new Pennywise album or some kind of album blasted in the car, and we're just like, one riff would come on and we'd look at each other like with eyes glowing, like this is like the best day of our lives. We used to go to Sanity at Keeler Downs.
Remember that?
And with the headphones and press the buttons. The new Pennywise about, Time Marches On album out yet? Yeah. And I remember, we were just talking about the best days of our lives, like when, they had the album in a week early from the release date that you read in a magazine.
Yeah.
And they gave it to you, and you felt like a bit of like you had the inside of
the inside,
because you must have been the only person in the world listening to that album a week early. So we're just trying to rekindle some of that kind of
that spark that you had,
new music, and that new music, hearing a new song or a new album, and just we wanted to ideally do it in person for the energy of it. Like I think it would be better sitting across from each other and playing it.
Yeah,
both getting the vibe of it, but That's our premise of the podcast anyway. What was the name again?
What was the
Locking
name?
Horns?
Oh, gosh, Locking Horns. Yeah.
Locking Horns.
I like
Because
that.
that's the premise of the podcast. Feedback, Steve, please.
Feedback. Yeah, I've got to listen to the first one. So
Yeah, we haven't released it. We're going to re-record it actually. You know,
we didn't listen. We didn't actually listen. The first episode is going to be us discussing the premise and how it came to be,
and how we know each other
and stuff like that. We kind of gave it away a little bit here.
Yeah,
but that was the idea of a podcast. But it might have to. I still want to do it in person, Dennis. When the borders open, like you said, I think we'll just knock out 10 episodes in a night.
Just bring your different shirts.
For us, Stephen, music was everything growing up, right? In our teens. What was it for you? Because I actually don't know. Like, what was it for you that you lived and breathed every day?
Other than fast cars and women, clearly.
Clearly.
At 16, basketball, believe it or not.
Really? I didn't know that.
So Bulls era, you're like the glory days.
Yeah, when I was 16, Michael Jordan was still playing.
Right.
Charles Barkley, and I was really into the basketball cards. I played basketball.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you go to card shops and stuff?
Yeah, and I used to really love it, and tennis. I used to play tennis as well. Yeah, and movies. That was it.
You know, it's interesting what you say. There's a page I follow on Instagram, and I don't know how I ended up following it, but it's basically people filming themselves, opening cards, right? So all the basketball cards and all that, and they film their reactions based on what they get, and the amount of views people get on these clips just from them opening cards is crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought I'd mention it.
But do you remember, Steve, you might have remembered, did you used to go to those Charles Barkley owned card shops? Do you remember when they were everywhere? And to go get your basketball cards? They were actually owned by Charles Barkley.
Really?
Yeah. There used to be one in Taylor's Lakes. That's where we used to get our basketball cards. Because I was the same as you. AFL cards, basketball cards, and Marvel cards.
Oh,
like with the three things.
I wasn't into Marvel at all until I would say the first X-Men movie came out. That's
so you didn't watch the original you didn't watch the original X-Men cartoons?
No.
Even my mum watched those with us.
Really?
Yeah, she loved them.
What was before X-Men? That was Marvel. Was that like the first?
X-Men was the first movie. Spider-Man and X-Men. Spider-Man's what kicked it all off because of the rating it got with Toby's.
I love Spider. We just watched those three original ones actually because we saw the trailer for the new Spider-Man movie. Have you seen it, Paul? The trailer?
Obviously, I've watched the trailer, but the three originals are still great. James Franco was hilarious as the Green Goblin, Hobgoblin. Yeah.
So I showed, and my Evie didn't know what the Green Goblin was and all that sort of stuff. So I said, let's watch it, and they actually really loved it, and which was good because Spider-Man did the Spider-Verse is Evie's favorite movie. Still, she loves it.
It's still hands down one of the best animation films ever made. It's my daughter's favorite movie too. They just want to be Spider-Gwen.
Yes. So I mean, it's fantastic, that movie. But yeah, so with what they're going to do with the multiverse, I think it's going to be awesome in the Spider-Man movie.
But on that, did you watch? Yeah, did you watch Mitchell's versus the Machines?
Yes,
it came out of the same.
That was really good as well.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. My daughters loved it. Eve was just obsessed with the pug.
Yeah. It was a pretty funny film because I was expecting usually Netflix animated movies are terrible, but that
came from that studio. Yeah, it came from the same studio that did Spider-Verse.
And that one was, and you could tell the detail they go into animate. It's insane, the detail on that. But
we've lost Dennis again.
No. It's good because I don't have these conversations with either of you, right? Because I'm obviously not into it.
Right, so Steve and I, we went to Queensland together, right, for one of Steve's business ventures. You know this, Dennis, but Steve and I didn't realize how much we were into the same dumb movies. For this trip. We always knew we liked Lord of the Rings. We liked Marvel. We liked. Clearly we had similar tastes of movie, Predator, Aliens growing up.
Yeah.
And we were talking about, because when Predator and Aliens came out, when we're old enough to actually watch it and appreciate it in our teens, there was nothing out that was like that. Right. It was using, you know, that was using the proper kind of, you know, costume kind of, you know, not CGI or whatever. But how did the CGI hold up on the original Spider-Man? Does it still look all right?
No, I mean, the kids said that looked fake.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just thought I'd ask because I haven't, because, you know, but
It's
back
not
to it.
bad.
So then we're talking about, and I just said to Steve, I go, but I just remember when it relit the fire for my older brother and I, who were both obsessed, was a movie called Starship Troopers. And Steve looked at me and goes, "You like Starship Troopers?" Like he finally found someone else who liked it.
Right.
I thought I was the only one.
Fuck. And I went to the movies like 6 times at High Point to see it with my brother. Like, and we downloaded it. I don't even know where we found it. And watched
then
it,
when I found out you like Fifth Element, the Fifth Element, I'm like, oh my God, another one.
Yeah, Fifth Element's another one. But we watched Starship Troopers. So this is 2 grown guys away from their families in another state, and they chose to watch Starship Troopers on your laptop screen. Over going out.
Well,
it was a good night. It was a good night.
Oh, it was fantastic. We had a good laugh, but we just realized how good that movie was. And then we just kept quoting it to each other. You got to have
it's funny you mentioned it because I just came out with the line about the vaccine. I just said, I'm doing my part too, right? And no one got it, right? And then I had to bring it up on the clip, and I showed my daughter, my 15-year-old. She actually thought it was pretty funny. I said, all right, we're watching it because Father's Day is coming up. I get to choose the movie. We're watching Starship Troopers.
Fantastic choice. But on your daughter, she and that video.
Oh my gosh.
Did you tell her that I think it's the funniest thing I've watched in, like, she's got a talent for
absolutely
for up and coming viral videos, because those
just on
zooms
that,
into your nose and just the little timing. Oh my!
You've got to share it,
video.
Stephen. You've got to put it online. It is one of the funniest things. So, if anyone's still listening after an hour and 16 minutes, Stephen's daughter basically, because Stephen messaged me, goes, "Oh, you wouldn't believe it. Carla made a video of me eating porridge." I'm like, okay, whatever.
Like, here we go.
Like, what does that even mean? And then I watched it, and it was just one of the funniest things, because the way that she zooms in on Stephen's nose, she puts on loop some of the things he says. It is
just nails it.
Nails it. And it is a true talent. It is a very.
Paul and you, Dennis, if you didn't know me, would you still find it funny? And I don't reckon you would.
I would. No, you laughing at how bad the porridge is at your wife is just so funny
and her
in
face
itself, because you just like, because you bugged her. The milk.
But do you know why I started laughing that hard? Because my daughter is very hard to. You'll find out, Paul, when they're teenagers, it's hard to get them laughing, right? But when you could hear her laughing while she's holding the phone. She couldn't hold it in, and that got me laughing more. And then seeing Amber's face,
your wife's face, Amber, looks like she's raising 3 kids.
She's going to kill you.
Yeah, it looked like she got 3 teenage kids.
You're lucky she didn't have any more porridge in the pot, because it would have just been thrown at you. Yeah.
You've got to share it, man. That is one of the funniest.
And just like, I'm going to try and eat it. I've broken her balls to make me this porridge. I've got this dream, and it's so bad. You don't even hold it back. You're like, this is horrible. This is just shit. It's so bad.
She started off with the layer of skin on it.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't do this.
Paul,
reminded me of the Golden Child. But remember that?
She made another one. Carla made another video of Stephen eating an orange, which is.
Oh yeah, I got to see this.
Yeah, it is very like the actual work that she does is fantastic, right? I think it's a really good talent. So yeah, continue making.
Tell her to keep it up.
Yeah, keep it up.
Yeah. She's good.
And you're a bucket of entertainment, Steve, so you're fine.
Oh, yeah, okay,
you're going to give her plenty of content.
Yeah.
Well, she actually wants to cut up these podcasts, doesn't she? She wants to cut up these clips.
Yeah, because she said, Dad, it's too boring. I said, okay. So she said, I could edit it and make it, so
more interactive.
Yeah, she'll probably cut it so we're saying something totally different.
Yeah. Deep fake. She'll do a deep fake on you.
You know what? It would be boring because how old is she? 14, right? What
Yeah,
are 14-year-old girls into these days? No, seriously. I don't even know. What are they into? What do they watch? TikTok.
I let her have Instagram.
Yep. Okay.
So she's into Instagram.
How's she going with that? She popped up as a friend, and I'm like, I'm not going to add Steve's daughter as a friend.
That's a bit weird.
I thought I'd be nice and do it because it'd give her another follower, and that would look good for her. Like I know that's important, but at the same time,
the good thing with her personality, I do word her up a lot about, like they're very different. My two daughters, like the older one, if I tell her about, that if you're chatting to someone online, that obviously you don't know who the hell they are, all that sort of stuff, she gets it. But Evie plays this Roblox game, right? She's 10 now, and you can chat on it. And I said to her, the only way I'm going to let you play this is if you don't chat. Right. So I promise, Dad. I promise, Dad. She scares me, this one. She waits like a couple of months, right? And then starts to chat again. And then, by just chance, because I thought she'd listen to me, I opened up the app and checked, and she's been having these long chats, right? I said, if I catch you again, I'm gonna uninstall the apps, And just the way she sneaked, that's how I would have been when I was her age. I never.
Yeah, 100%. My dad ever said, "Don't do something," I was doing it.
I know, but yeah, they're so different. But she just found a way and just tried to hide it. And she, like, when I said to her, I thought I said that you're not allowed to chat, she just stares me out. She just like, staring right down at me, and I'm like, say something. And she just stares me out. And then
just get her at a router level. Just turn it off. Turn off the permissions for that app.
Oh, so I just uninstall it, and I said that's it, no more.
So anyway. Here's a question: with all this home remote learning that you're doing, what do kids do after they finish being on a screen all day? Like, do they just go and watch TV, or do they go and do something? Because
play on with their toys still,
right?
Yeah, I mean, Carla doesn't leave her room.
Well, yeah, but, 14. Yeah.
That's it. So yeah, but it's funny, like, Paul, I don't know, like, how are your kids in primary school yet?
Eve's in grade 1 or prep.
Oh, okay, prep, okay. But like the schools are very different. So if you go, the high school, the secondary school is private, and the primary is in state school, and the state school basically gives a printout, does a 15-minute WebEx. Who uses WebEx these days? But
wow, WebEx.
Fucking WebEx, the worst.
So 15-minute WebEx with the whole class,
right?
And then printouts for the parents to do the rest.
For the parents to do the rest.
And they get you to submit the work, and they don't even look at it, because you can see if the teacher's marked it or they don't do anything. Where the private school is, they do proper classes, Google Meets, the teachers there like a normal class, But
they're working, the state school teachers, aren't they?
This school isn't. Like, my sister is a teacher in Sunbury, and she's basically remote learning and trying to teach her kids at the same time.
Jeez.
That's difficult. But, what do you do? If they don't do it, what are you going to do? But this time around, I don't want to put too much pressure on her to do her work or this sort of stuff, because they end up resenting, like Amber, they fight all the time if they don't, so just we're doing it a bit more calmer this time around. Less stress for everybody.
Do you think the kids, when they go back, will be a little bit socially awkward?
No, also I'll share, like, even now, if Eve has a few days off school, she's just a bit weird. Like, they just need that release. They need that energy gone. They need that. I think it's good for them.
What? Going to school?
Just getting out and doing stuff other than, like, because we, homeschool, it's just not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not putting on a uniform. They're not leaving the house. It's not, they haven't got regimented breaks and lunch.
There's no routine.
And it is really difficult on them. And that's another certificate that's coming out around teenage, especially teenagers. It'd be fucked. Imagine us not having year 10 and 11 and 12 together.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's about time. Tonight, well, yeah, this week's the first time the news has finally raised about the mental health issues that kids are experiencing, right? And the Royal Melbourne Hospital experiencing a 30% spike in anxiety and potential depression and all that from kids as young as 5 years old. That's crazy, 5 years old, right? And you're right, not having
anxiety is
not having that release of and routine. I think it's a big one. You know, putting on your uniform and whatever else they do. So,
but let alone the
struggle with it.
What's that?
Let alone the good times
adults struggle
we
with
had.
it.
Yeah, adults struggle with it. I mean, I was I was having a meeting today, obviously remote, and I said to the guy, "Do you remember when you'd walk into a room late for a meeting and everyone would look at you?" Okay, and he goes, "Gosh, when was the last time you had a face-to-face meeting together?" It was a long time ago. Well, no, you know what I mean, in person. It's a long time ago.
Yeah, but you're 100% right in the sense of you know that. So I was saying to Dennis that I still, if I work from home, I'll put on a shirt, I'll put on jeans, but I won't put on trackies. How do I differentiate when I finish work? What do I get changed into to say I'm finished?
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I think it's smart. I think it's good that you're that disciplined.
Well, I just had to do something to swap it up. Otherwise, when I was working from home, I was working from 8 to 7.
Yeah, right.
On and off.
Yeah. See, the way
if I'm out on the road, yeah.
You know, I've worked from home for like 20 odd years, right? So I found that there was only a time in my life where I was working inside the house, just there was a study in the house. All the other times I've had a separate area, like in the other house, it was downstairs.
In this house, it's in
the garage, right? So I think visually, if you don't have a separate space that's away from the house, it becomes really hard. So for me, it's the physical space, not necessarily what you're wearing.
I'm with you.
But you know, you just still got to do your routine. You have a shower, you know, put on your. I have like work trackies and home trackies.
I'm with you, brother.
And then Kmart.
And then I've got my summer uniform.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Because he keeps burning the ass out on the work ones from sitting there.
Yeah.
So do you think? I mean, you work from home, but Paul, do you think office work will go back to 5 days a week ever again?
Never again.
No, I don't think so. Not mandatory. I mean, there'll be options if you want to.
2 to 3.
Yeah.
So it's funny. We had a meeting around engagement and we decided to say that we've actually gone too hard on being away from each other, so let's have a meeting once a fortnight all together in the office,
right?
Because just so sick of Zoom.
Yeah, I mean, I said today that it's just webinar fatigue, Teams fatigue, especially when you're in long meetings that aren't 100% interactive. Like this one's a bit different because there's 3 of us, but if you've got 6 people in a meeting or 7 people in a meeting, you're just sitting there for an hour and a half. You might say 2 words. You end up, fatigued. You end up.
Yeah, I got 3 of those tomorrow. So
there you go.
That's why I'm WFH tomorrow. That's working from home for you, Steve. But we're at an hour and a half, guys.
Yeah, this thing hasn't cut us off, man. I just want to check that I actually press record.
Yeah, it says recording.
It says recording. Yeah. We'll just keep going unless you got somewhere else to be. I mean, for Paul, it's only 9:30.
9:32 here. I'm in the past.
10 o'clock.
Steve's ready for bed, mate.
You got an early morning, Steve?
I've got to get into my bed trackies now.
But no, it was fun to be on. It's a weird thinking that this has been recorded and it's going to be an episode, but it's just nice to catch up anyway.
Yeah. I think we should do another episode, and I'm happy to partake, assuming I'm prepared, and you guys can talk about whatever cartoons or whatever you.
It's not all cartoons, man.
Mickey Mouse, as my dad would say. All right, it's Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse. Speaking of Mickey Mouse, Steve, did you watch on Disney Plus those like that kind of more modern Ren and Stimpy style Mickey Mouse series? No, it's Mickey Mouse and Donald and Goofy, but a separate company did a little short series of about eight
Actually,
5 minute
yeah,
episode.
and I have to say, there's a Chip and Dale one.
Yeah,
It's
that's
pretty
like
funny, right?
Yeah,
And it's
that
like reminds me of the old Looney Tunes style, like same
and Ren
humor.
and Stimpy style.
Yeah,
Even Goofy's like, oh hey Mick,
yeah.
like he's and just the animation, and my wife and just looks at me with me and my daughter Eva just pissing ourselves at it because we love like Ren and Stimpy and SpongeBob and stuff.
Yeah.
And she's just like, oh god, there's a little buddy, little
Yeah.
Paul there. Yeah.
You have to go to Disneyland and that. Like once it all opens up, man.
Mate, I want to go to fucking Victoria, Let me go to Victoria first.
Yeah, State, you reckon he would love it? He would absolutely. Come on.
Yeah, I think he would like. I don't think he would be as hardcore as you. I think he would like it more than I did.
Right? I think for me, because with my wife, that's like her dream to go to anything Disney because she's obsessed, right? Like next level.
Your wife's
That's why I never play her in Disney trivia because she just destroys me. But I think seeing the happiness with them three would make it. But I think I'd enjoy it.
Yeah, you will.
Snow Movie World, Dream World on the Gold Coast.
Oh my gosh! Didn't your wife's sister work at Disney?
Yeah, for a year. Yeah, the one in Florida.
In Florida.
Really, Disney World.
Yeah, she worked at Disney World for a year.
Oh, okay.
She had one of those internships.
Yeah. I had a friend.
She used to be the like dress person, like help Tinkerbell and a few of the others get dressed, and
I had a friend that did that. She went through the whole Disney College program, and it rotates you through different roles in the park. It is, it's pretty cool.
Look, that's one thing I love about it, that how big it is, like as a corporation, it's just massive.
A money-making machine.
Oh, yeah. But they're actually having some real big issues at the moment with numbers in Disney World because they've put prices up. The Fast Pass, remember how it was free?
Yep.
Now you have to pay for it.
All right.
They've rebranded it and called it Genie Plus or something, which means you got to pay for the same thing that used to be free.
Yeah.
They put the ticket prices up.
Wow.
Well, they have to make up a lost revenue.
Yeah, but they're stopping numbers coming through. So
does Disney World or do you need to be vaccinated to go in? Do they have that? Because in Florida it's not mandated, right?
No, but you have to wear a mask, I think, in the park. Yeah.
Gosh, imagine
they'll be selling Disney
masks. Oh yeah.
There'll be heaps of them.
And Disney hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
$19.
Yeah, I reckon they would. But no, one day, Steve, definitely. I think because I've always wanted to go to Japan, and I think we've agreed that if we're going to go on our next overseas holiday, my wife would meet me halfway because there is Disney there.
Well, there's Disney in Japan, that's right, and Universal.
Super Nintendo World as well.
Yeah, Super Nintendo.
Which looks phenomenal. They got Universal, they got Studio Ghibli.
Yeah.
Amusement park, so for Spirited Away. The kids get to see Godzilla, so all gee.
I think Japan's the way to go for you guys because it's that perfect blend of everything.
Imagine Bonnie in Japan.
Yeah, look, Stephen looks like he wants to go.
He should talk to everyone anyway.
Yeah, Stephen looks like he wants to go, but we're not letting him go yet. So keep talking to me about Japan.
I keep talking.
No, you're right, Steve. If you need to go, mate, it's all good. My bum buddy running low on battery anyway.
All right, well,
we can go. It's all right. We can leave it for another time. Yeah, we can wrap it up.
All right. Let's wrap it up.
Is this where you thank your sponsors?
We thank our sponsors, listsocial.com.au and mozziebands.com.au. Follow us on the socials, Social Listening Podcast, and email sociallisteningpodcast@gmail.com.
Good on you,
guys.
All right,
Speak soon.
See you, Paul.
Bye.
See you, mate.